welcome back to a brand new episode of NH Unscripted. I know you know how lucky you are. Yes, I do. We like to reach out of the darkness. Yes, that makes me your friends and lovers like host Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the not so overly ostentatious digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. That's on your transistor radios. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. I need to thank my show sponsor. You know, you live long enough on this earth. Either you or someone you know is going to need a good lawyer. A good lawyer. And we are so proud to have the law offices of Shaheen and Gordon as our sponsor. My goodness, my goodness. Look, whether you hit the lottery, you're going to start a business. I just saw on their Instagram page the other day, they're chatting up about semi-truck accidents. My God, I hope I never have that. But things you don't think about. Nursing home abuse, are you kidding me? I mean, they do it all. I mean, literally, they do it all. Get out your pencil. Write this down. Put it on your fridge or put it with your legal papers, because I'm telling you, you or somebody you know is going to need a good lawyer. ShaheenGordon.com is their URL. That's ShaheenGordon.com. 603-614-5560. They're in Concord, Dover, Manchester, Hawaii. You believe they're in Hawaii? I mean, how much problems it can be in Hawaii? It's where you go to rest. My goodness. Anyway, ShaheenGordon.com, 603-614-5560. Now we can have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jordan Reeves is in the house. Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
You are here because you have written something. Is that true?
That's right. I'm here because we have a world premiere happening at the Barnstormers Theater in Tamworth, New Hampshire. It's a new comedy cozy murder mystery called Front Row to Murder.
So, are you a resident of Tamworth?
I'm not. I actually live in London, England, but I've been coming up to Tamworth for almost 15 years now, for most summers.
Wait, you fly over here every summer?
No, I moved to London about 6 years ago, and there was a couple years where my wife and I were having a baby, so we didn't come back to the theater, but I've been coming back the last couple summers and flying over from London. I directed last summer at the theater, and this year...
You did?
Yeah, I directed the Agatha Christie out there. It was called Go Back for Murder, and I had a blast doing that, and it's one of my favorite places, the Barnstormers Theater, for me and my wife. So we come over with our now 3-year-old, who has a great summer in New Hampshire, while we're doing some theater for a few weeks.
It is such a quintessential New England theater.
Absolutely. It's truly one of my favorite places, which is kind of what inspired me to write the play, actually. I loved it so much. I was during the pandemic, and I was missing this place, and I love up there. I actually, 15 years ago, the first time I came up there, I came up as an audience member. My wife, who was then my girlfriend, had been cast in a show, so I came up to see it. And just loved it up there, and loved their comedies, and really loved that they do an Agatha Christie. They do a murder mystery every summer. And up there, for that community, it's one of their favorite things. And mine, too, to try to have the fun of solving the puzzle and the mystery. And then a few years into that, I ended up starting to be an actor up there. I'm an actor, director, and writer. And so I started acting in the Agathas, and then I got to direct one. But then during the pandemic, I was missing all that, so I sort of just sat down and was like, well, I got this fun idea, and there's nothing going on. I'm sitting in my apartment, in my flat, and so I started writing a fun, cozy, modern Agatha, basically. And what I realized I was really doing was writing sort of this love letter to this community that I love. There's a lot of inside jokes and Easter eggs, and just talking about that community there and the theater community there, on top of it being a fun comedy and I think a really fun new murder mystery.
All right, I want to chat about that. First of all, were you at the gala? Did you go to the gala?
I was not. I hadn't gone to town yet.
Man, it was so nice. Oh my gosh. I had such a good time. So many people.
Yeah, I think they're great.
They have a lot of dedicated base out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they had the Love Letters reading with Paul Duffy and Linda Pearl. Is that her name?
I believe that's right.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great night.
Yeah.
Great night. So, you're kind of an anomaly here. So you love working there, performing, directing, and then, writing a play is not quite the same as being in one. How do you wake up one day and go, I got an idea and I'll bet it's going to work?
Well, probably a little bold ignorance, I imagine. But I've worked in the theater my whole life. I grew up in it, went to school for it, worked professionally all around the country. I even ran a Shakespeare company in New York City for about a decade. And I kind of moved from being an actor, realizing, I want more control, my fingers on the story. So I started directing and then artistic directing. And the eventual progression is that you start writing. And so when I moved to London about 6 years ago, part of that was was to start working on some novels and some of the things I wanted to do. I had done a lot of adaptations and new works through using Shakespeare's language with my company and things. So I had some experience at telling stories in a lot of different ways. I like to think of myself more as these days as a storyteller. I think I really love stories and how they're built and how we put it all together and how people enjoy it and get surprised and have feelings and have maybe moral messages sometimes at the end of them. And so that sort of led me to, I'd written a couple novels. I love the written word. So then I just sort of jumped out there and went, well, let me write my full first original play. No source material. Although I will say I've leaned on Agatha and her structure. It's like an Agatha that has 3 acts, although each act is very quick, like 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes. No, it'll be a great time, and you get to stretch your legs and use the bathroom twice, but you're still out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, but that's what Agatha did. Agatha would set things up with the first act where you'd meet all the characters and see all this conflict, and then usually somebody dies. And then the second act, a detective shows up, or Miss Marple, and we try to work things out, and then maybe somebody else dies at that act. And then you get your third act where there's the big reveal, and you get everybody in the room, and you do what's not realistic, where you have the detective look at everybody and then point out the murderer. And then, as Agatha loves to do, the murderer suddenly becomes insane and screams and yells, I wanted to kill him, and then often there's a little love moment at the end because she needed to put that in the 50s. But I love that. I loved her structure and things. So a lot of what I did was, I think, mirror that, at least on those larger
Is it like
plays.
an homage?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the artistic director has called it a modern Christie, and I think that's very kind of him, but also
That's
true in the
very
sense.
high
It's
praise.
very kind of him, but in the sense that we are trying to create what people love out of Agatha and give them something new, and one that, well, you can't know who this murderer is this time.
Yeah.
There's no movie, there's no play you could have read ahead of time, there's no novel that was based off this story, so you get the real fun of seeing if you can puzzle it out as well.
Man, oh man. There's a dedicated audience for this stuff. I didn't think I was a big fan of it, but I've been in a few Agatha Christie productions, and then my wife and I are addicted to Only Murders in This Building.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
Come on,
that's a great
we
one.
are so hooked. And I didn't realize how much I love that kind of stuff. What I kind of want to open it up about the play itself, but give us an overview, if you would, of the big picture, the high.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the set of the play, so it takes place in a small New England town called Worthington. You might be familiar to Tamworth. And what's happening is the local regional theater is putting up an Agatha Christie play, and a detective from New York named Josephine Marshall has come up to see her aunt in the play. And she's sitting there watching the play, and suddenly, this is not too big of a spoiler, we say it in all the publicity, someone dies on stage. And she is thrust
It's
into,
called Front Row to Murder.
Yeah, we're not giving too much away there. And suddenly there's a real murder on stage, and she's thrust into helping the local police, the local sheriff, try to solve it, kind of sorting through the crazy characters that are in the theater, and some fun clues to try to sort out who could have done this while we were all watching it on stage. So,
all right, so I want to just talk to you kind of professional to professional here. How excited are you to get this up on its feet?
It's really overwhelming. It's really humbling. It's given me a lot of confidence in that this is, the
World
30
premiere,
years.
right? Your world premiere.
This is a world premiere. We're very excited about it.
Hang on. That's a great cliffhanger. We're going to get back.
We'll get back to it.
I want to know all about this. You're listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah. Everything is beautiful. I'm your Ray Stevens, like host Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. I can smell the pool chlorine all the way over here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Jordan Reeves is in the house. I'll give you his website when we come back. Yeah, we're talking murder mystery. Be back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. We're kind of your everyday people here. That would make me your Sly and the Family Stone-like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you from the spa-like conditions of the WKXL studios. Hang on, a little bit lower, a little bit lower. Yeah, that feels good. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. The poor kids got the 8 transistor. Us rich kids got the 16. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls of Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Author, actor, director Jordan Reeves is in the house because if you have never been to the Barnstormers Theater in Tamworth, dude, and let me tell you, this is an honest assessment. I love that theater. I love Tamworth. I love their farmers market. I love going out there, making a day of it. You're missing something if you've never been out there. Quintessential New England theater. I'm telling you, it's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. It's a wonderful night. Jordan, you wrote Front Row to Murder. Did you... I asked you earlier if you're excited about this world premiere. So it has never been shown anywhere?
No, we had a couple workshop readings in New York City, but they were just readings at music stands. Which we had great reception, standing ovations. It really got us excited for the summer. But no, it's never been performed. This will be its first production. Hopefully when it gets published, the theater and the cast and all the things go in the front of the play, which everyone's excited about. And,
now I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's really exciting.
When you, as a writer, for folks who don't really know, especially a play, there are certain stages to getting it up on its feet, and so you need to hear it at times because some lines you write fall differently based on an actor's inflection, their interpretation, or whatever. When you first had that reading, did you come away needing to tweak much of it?
Yeah, when I first wrote it a couple of years ago during the pandemic, I had some Zoom readings because we couldn't all get together with a lot of the Barnstormers veteran actors, and that really gave me a first basis of where am I at. And what I realized mostly in that time was I didn't have enough red herrings. I really didn't have enough of all my characters, all my characters, all the other characters who don't commit the murder.
Yeah.
I wasn't giving them, and we liked them all too much. I needed to make them a little bit meaner, nastier, have some reasons to really want to kill somebody.
Yeah.
That was the first big rewrite. And then last summer when I was here, I gave it to the artistic director, and they were excited about it. We did a reading of just the first act with a local Tamworth community and a playwriting group. And that was very informative, too. They didn't know what was coming after that, but they gave me a lot of information. It helped me tweak some things, change some characters around. I cut a character here and there and things. So that there was a lot of moving around. The overall arc and the murder itself and things didn't change tremendously. It was all about... I have a playwriting friend called Jeff Talbot who said, look, you've got a great building. You just need to rearrange the furniture. And that was a really helpful thing of just sort of moving things around. And then I had a in-house reading in New York last winter that really informed some other things, changed a few more things around. And then what we presented in New York in March at a festival, I would say was close. Done a lot of there's a lot of tweaks. I've done tweaks in the last 2 weeks when we've been in rehearsal. A lot of them have been small things, kind of tightening things for especially our Barnstormer Tamworth audience, because there's a lot of fun little Easter eggs in there. Instead of the white mountains, we call them the pale mountains, and things that may not get a chuckle, but you'll just kind of hear. And we talk about, instead of Rosie's, which is a very famous diner in the area, we call it Posey's, and there's just things like that really will give you a little grin if you know. And if you don't know, if you're new to the thing, you won't miss a beat. There's plenty of joy, laughs, and clues to puzzle over.
So when did you present it? The new AD out there is Jordan Reeves.
It is.
When did you present it to him?
Jordan was working at the theater before he became artistic director, so he knew about it. He was helping me write grants for it last summer, so he knew about it last summer. And then when he took the helm this year, we talked in December. He's the one who really wanted to put it into this Ground Up Productions New Plays Festival that we did in March. And so he's really been a great leader for me to help really get this to the finish line. Say, we're doing this. We're excited about it. We want this to be our premiere. This is a love letter to our theater. We want to do it. And so he's been really tremendous, really supportive, getting this project up on his feet.
Are you intimidated? So, this is a crazy question, but you're preceding Agatha Christie, and there are all these other famous things like Clue, and I mentioned Only Murders in This Building. Are you afraid of the comparison to those? Are you proud of those comparisons? And your play is obviously going to be compared somehow to Agatha, which follows it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm intimidated by it. I know Agatha Christie is the greatest mystery writer of all time. She's prolific. I'm not in the same ballpark. I'm not in the same city as her. But I'm very excited for audiences who love her work to watch this, because it's updated. We're talking about, it takes place today in 2024 or 5, whatever year it is.
That solves
now.
the costume problem.
Yeah, well, and they're putting on, I've written a faux Agatha opening scene that you get to see them rehearse and then perform as if it's opening night of their show. So it's called The Curse of the Dragon's Heart. And it was one of my favorite things to write, to be honest. It's so joyful to, I wouldn't say poke fun at, but do an homage to what she does so well. And I think it's going to be really delightful for an audience to see, especially that part who loves that. You'll see all the period costumes of the 30s, and you'll see all these stock characters that you know from her plays. And yeah, I'm very excited about that part. And I'm really positive and hopeful. I think it's a great show. I mean, I wrote it, obviously, but
I hate to compare it to anything, but if you were going to compare it to something, what would you?
To me, I've always said it's a little. If you know the play Noises Off, there's also a tremendous film of it.
One of my favorite.
I would say it's Noises Off meets Agatha Christie, or Noises Off meets Clue, in the sense that there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of humor. It's about a theater. It's about all these theater stage managers and diva actors and all these different people and walk-on characters and artistic directors, and so you get all these personalities that are so fun, like in Noises Off, and then you get to throw in a murder mystery for us to help puzzle out. And so I think it's a great blend of that. I think that audiences today are looking, a lot of audiences are looking for really things that are uplifting and joyful.
Yeah.
The play is also really about family. I really tried to, what I realized as I was writing it, I was missing that family. And there's a lot of language and talking about, the theater's a family, a big, happy, dysfunctional family. And they go through this big event over a night of the murder, and they come together at the end. And so it's a reminder that also that, we're all family. And the theater's a great example of that. The theater, I think, is always at the forefront of trying to be as inclusive and share as many ideas to our community as possible, because that's how, we really come together. And so I'm really hopeful that that's the energy that theaters are looking for beyond the Barnstormers, even with this play, that it'll get a chance to have a run regionally and things. I think it's perfect for that.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I wrote, which is happening, is that I wanted it to be able to be performed on any Agatha Christie set, so that if you're doing an Agatha, like we're going to do Mousetrap after this, we're using somewhat the same set. They're going to change things and stuff, but we're able to sort of share that weight in the production design, but also in the excitement of, look, it happens on her set. It's really something that's natural. So it's been I really didn't even take in that it was happening in some ways until I got here, because I was like, I can't believe a play of mine's getting done. And
You know, it would make such a great summer stock play.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun and joyful, and we all love comedies. And then if you can add a little puzzle to it, I'm a crossworder, I'm a Wordle guy, and all that sort of stuff. And so if you like those things, it gives you all that, just like Murders in the Buildings. I think that's just stuff that keeps our brain a little active. We're not passively watching.
Right. Yeah.
And that's great.
I should have asked you in the first block, but can you give us the website and the dates that it's taking place?
Yes. So the dates of the show, it's opening tomorrow, the 24th, and we'll run all the way through August 2nd. We're dark on next Monday, but every other day we have shows. We have 2 shows on Saturday, 2 o'clock matinee, and I believe the shows in the evening are all at 7:30, except for Sundays, which is a 5 o'clock show.
Okay.
And the website is barnstormerstheater.com. .org, sorry.
Yeah, correct.
barnstormerstheater.org, and that's theater with an R-E, if you're spelling it out.
Good point. Good catch.
Yeah, and you can find out all the more information there and get your tickets there.
Yeah, no kidding. Before we get into cast and all of that, was there... Oh. Dang it. All right, hang on. I got a question. You're listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, we're yummy in your tummy. That makes me your Ohio Express-like host, Ray Dudley, coming to you from the dating game-like digs of the WKXL studios. I might be in chair 2 today. Maybe I'm in chair 2. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans, baby. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls of Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. We will be right back. I'm so happy. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. I know how lucky you think you are listening to this show. Wink, wink. Yeah, we are your hurdy-gurdy man. Oh, that would make me your Donovan-like host, Ray Dudley, coming to you from the, where are we today? The Hollywood Squares-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. I love to sit in the old Paulin Square. It's right dab smack in the center. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, and then 101.9 for the beautiful souls in Manchester. Jordan Reeves is in the house, chatting up, thankfully, his murder mystery, Front Row to Murder, taking place out in Tamworth, July 27th through August 2nd?
24th
gotcha.
to August 2nd.
Thank you, in Tamworth, folks. You got to get out there, I'm telling you. I was going to say this at the end, and I tried to say it at the end anyway, but I'm going to say it right now. Get your favorite squeeze, go out to dinner, take in a show. You're going to love this one. Trust me, you're going to love this one. Jordan, when you're writing it, and then it's coming time to put it up, there can be unseen things, what's the biggest obstacle you face now to put this one up? Is it like a huge set? Is it costumes? Is it just the size of the cast? What? You're like, oh my God, that's going to kill us.
Yeah, well, I was curious what would be the biggest issues, but surprisingly, we have a very quick process at Barnstormers, but we have a great veteran team of actors and designers and director that have done this a lot. They've done a lot of Chrissy's and comedies, so it's really moved. What I've been most shocked about is how well it actually has gone from page to the stage. Very little things have been hiccups here. Again, there's little blocking things here. How do we set this cue here to really make it hit the audience when this murder event happens or when that happens and things like that? But it's pretty natural stuff when you're working on a new show. And it's been really exciting to be the playwright in the room every day where I can talk with the director. I can hear the actors who are now going to do it, who are bringing it to life. Some of these actors I wrote parts for. When I wrote it originally, I was picturing these people doing it and then getting to see them bring those characters to life. And then adjusting little things here and there to make it better for them, or to add a little bit of a joke here or an Agatha pun there or whatever it might be. has been really rewarding. So I wish I could say there's been a big problem, but it really has felt like
I'm knocking on wood. We're knocking on wood.
Yeah, I know. We got one more day. They're doing a run while I'm here, and we have a dress run tonight. But we're in great shape, and I really feel blessed to have such a great team doing it now. The interesting thing about being a playwright, I find, is, it's not done when you write it. The point of a play is to become alive on stage, and you have to. The hardest part really was giving it over.
I believe
I'm a director
that.
and an actor, and so, of course, I want to do all the parts and really knowing, not sitting on my hands, but going, have faith and trust in the people you're working with, and I do, because they're the ones who make it come alive. I wrote a script. They're going to make the play. And so seeing the play come alive has been so, I've said this before, but so humbling and rewarding that I'm really just thankful right now. And I'm really excited to share it with audiences. I think it's just going to be something they're really going to enjoy in a way that we were talking about Agatha earlier. We can really enjoy Agatha, but Agatha wrote in her time with the set of moral values and political values and all the things that were happening of her time and what Broadway was expecting of her and the West End was expecting of her. And here we are in 2000 whatever, and and we're here, and I feel like I was able to let us talk about our community today, and the jokes are modern, and the jokes are things you're going to relate to, and not need a thesaurus to go, oh, in 1942, this wasn't that, which I think will just, bring it to the audience and make it feel a little bit more comfortable. But you still get all the stuff you love. You still get the period piece acting, and you still get all the fun characters and the clues and all those sort of things.
You brought up the cast and certain things about the cast. So let's get into that. If you wouldn't mind, tell us who's directing it, and then talk a little bit about, you wrote certain parts, you said, for specific actors.
Yes. So Blair Uttermark is directing the piece. He's been a pillar of the Barnstorm community for decades. He's a great director and he's a great actor and an even better director. And so he stepped in to lead this, and I couldn't have asked for a better director. And then it's got a cast of the artistic director, Jordan Reeves, really brought in the heavy hitters, the vets. This was our marquee piece. This was going to be the piece that talks about our theater.
Brilliant.
So we've got Bob Bates, who is one of our longest resident actors there, that the community will know. Doug Shapiro, one of the favorites there, is in the show, and a part that, as the director said to me, he owes you money. It's perfect for him. Dale Place, Dean Nelson, Madeline Mabey. These are some of the people that if you come to the theater for years, you'll have seen them play great roles and enjoyed them, and they're all together in this show, and they're all just beautiful together. So I couldn't be more thankful to have this cast.
How large a cast is it?
It's 11 actors, so it's much like a Christie. It's a large cast. You have to have the thing about a Christie is you need a lot of suspects. You have 4 or 5 in a cast, and it gets a little bit more difficult. So we've got a whole array of actors and backstage people, and we've got a sheriff and a deputy, and then we've got our detective who's come from out of town, sort of the fish out of water, trying to figure this all out. So yeah, it's really exciting.
So talk about the killing, if you can, without giving things away. Are there, how do I put this? So I've seen like 10 Little Indians, thing falls off the mantelpiece, somebody just dies of a heart attack, or the drink's poisoned, or whatever. Did you do something special for yours? Is there?
Yes, I don't want to give anything away, but our murder is unique, I think, and it's called Front Row to Murder, and it's in the thing that someone's gonna get murdered on stage during the performance in front of 200 people in the audience, including our detective. And that was actually the spark of the idea. I thought of that one night, and I was like, man, I don't know how to do that yet, but wouldn't that be exciting as a setup for the murder? Is like, we all see it, but we don't know how it happened. And so,
does it happen on stage, like not like off stage? You're like, oh, someone died over there,
No. The victim is on stage when they are killed. So it happens in front of you, and but still, I think we won't know. You won't know what. Now, I will say
that had to be hard to come on.
That was difficult, but that was the nugget I think I figured out first, and I sort of then was like, oh, I want to write this play. I had this idea of how somebody could get murdered on stage
without anybody
get away with
in front of an audience.
Yeah,
nobody
and I was like,
see
I'll
it.
write the that kind of inspired me to write it. And so so that nugget never, how the murder happens never was one of the first things I knew. So that was exciting. That was, I think, sometimes I've been working on 2 or 3 other murder mystery comedy plays right now, and not all of them have the same like crazy setup for the murder like this one did. I've found that in different ways. It's been character driven or location driven or things to start the writing on those. But this one really did start with that murder. Yeah.
Man, that's intriguing. So intriguing. How long did it take you to write it? Was it one of those like a songwriter? Oh no, I'd like the Beatles. I just wrote it in 15 minutes. I had pasta, and all of a sudden I was dreaming about.
It was weird. It wasn't that fast, but it came. The first draft actually came out pretty quick. I wrote the first act just because I was during the pandemic and was trying to fill my time for a day or so.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Did you even think during the pandemic then it would ever get? I mean,
I really had no aspirations at the time. It was really I was just missing the place, and it was filling my need. No, I had no aspirations that it was going to end up being a play. I didn't know how good it would be, anything. I just wanted to make it. And so everything that's happened in the last few years to get it to the stage has been really almost gravy for me from what I originally set out to do. Yeah.
Are you hoping to get it to like the dramatist or some kind?
Yeah, no. The goal is I think so, and the artistic director has been really supportive, wanting to help to do that, and same with the festival it was in. They're big about trying to help you get to publish, and I think it has that kind of worth, and I think it's that tight that it's ready. We'll see. Sometimes you need a couple extra productions before they'll put it into dramatist or Samuel French or one of those.
I have no idea about that process.
Yeah, it'll be new to me, but I've having been in the business for 30 years, I have a lot of friends who are playwrights, and they're very excited for it too. And they're like, you're going to be able from this to hopefully send it out to a number of theaters if you get 1 or 2 more productions going the next year or so. It really bumps you right into hopefully getting published. We'll certainly see after this if it can get published right away, but it might just, they like to have a little bit of a track record, which is fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tell me, time's flying. I know, but that's what we love to do. You're listening to NH Unscripted, because we're girl watching. Wait, can you say that in this day and age? Anyway, I am your occasions like host Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the Gong Show like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. The Gong Show. Such memories. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios in Concord. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Shaheen Gordon, the law office of Shaheen Gordon, that we are proud to have them as a sponsor. We're talking theater. We're talking a brand new play. We're talking Tamworth. We're talking Summertime Theater, New Hampshire. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. We are your bridge over troubled water. That makes me your Simon and Garfunkel-like host. Yeah, kind of. I look maybe more like Garfunkel. Anyway, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Where should you happen to go out there, you'll find a link that you can click, and you can listen to this show live every Wednesday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Or, hey, let's say you wake up 2, 3 in the morning, you're hungry, you're looking for a friend. There's archives out there. You can go, maybe back of your mind, you'd be thinking, wasn't there like some old guy on the radio that I used to listen to? Yeah, go out there. NHTalkRadio.com. I'll be your friend for a while. Share those milk and cookies. Jordan Reeves is in the house. And we're talking about his yet-to-be-performed production of Front Row to Murder. Where do you go from here? Do you have plans to, like, the next one? Are you thinking future, like, franchise kind of stuff?
I think in this world, you always want to be trying to think ahead. Theater is a place where you're always, what's the next job, even while you have a job.
Yeah, good point.
So I think there's a bit of that mentality. Certainly with this play, I'm excited for the world premiere. Once we have that, the theater's been tremendous. They're going to give me access to show photos and some video of it and stuff, so that I can use that material along with hopefully some press and different things we get to send it out around and do the circuit around the country. I think it really, although it was written for this community, it's really for anybody, and I'm hoping that the play can be one that these few places where we insert things like the name of the mountains or the town or things that I would love it if, say, someplace in Arizona wanted to do the play, they can use their little town name, or they can use a riff off it, because I'm not saying Tamworth. I'm saying
you would build that into the rights?
I'd be willing to write that into it, and be able to help them sculpt that so it can be more personal. There's a number of plays like that. We did one last summer called Into the Breaches by George Brandt, and it was set in World War II, and it's about all the men are off at war, and the artistic director's wife wants to put on the Henriade at the theater, and they do it with all women. And it's a beautiful play. It's like League of Their Own meets Shakespeare. But what George did in that was he set it so that it could be in any location around the country, in that he would rewrite these little things about whatever, the military base nearby or this thing there, so that it really felt like you were coming in hearing about your community. And so I feel that this play can do that too. It really can be done in Kentucky and Florida, where I'm from, not just New England. So so the hope is that I can get that going. And I've also been working on, I got 3 new plays that are in process right now for me. A two-hander called The Usual Suspects, which is, if you've ever seen Greater Tuna, it's a little bit like that. We've got a
Multiple
detective.
characters.
We've got a detective there who's trying to sort out this ridiculous crime, and the other actor comes in and plays all 10 suspects into the room. And so it's a real fun, different thing that I'm playing with there. I've got another one called Death on the Channel, which is another sort of riff off Agatha there, where we're taking the channel between London and Paris, and the train stops and goes out, and suddenly the guy we thought was sleeping is dead, and we've got a Miss Marple-esque kind of character, but she's a Southern writer.
I knew you'd be thinking.
Anyways,
yeah.
And I've got another one that's called Fourth and Felony, that takes place in a Bronx cop bar in 2008, when the Giants were playing the Patriots for the Super Bowl, and they beat them. And while they're watching that game, there's a theft in the bar, and they have to solve it all. And there's some fun stuff there.
That's a brilliant
mixing
location.
Football, and I love football, so sort of mixing football and crime and mystery and theater. So these are other projects I'm working on. I think there's a real desire and joy for these kind of works, humorous but murder mystery sort of things. And so I'm working on a bunch of those projects.
You know what's great to see is your passion. I know there's an audience for all this stuff, but to see your passion to want to put these out there and to be creative about it. Well, first of all, I love creative people. I absolutely do. I love entrepreneurs. I love actors who, in a way, are their own entrepreneur. And to see how much you're thrilled about seeing this get put on, for the audience's reaction, and then to be thinking about the future. There's some people like one and done. Yeah, get that out of my system, But you really have a zest for this. You love your audience. Let's face it. You love. That's the
I am the audience.
line.
I am the audience. I want to write something that I want to sit back and enjoy too.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't wrote it, I would love to try to solve it. So, I'm one of you. And again, I think I said this earlier in the interview, but I came to the Barnstormers as an audience member for years. So I am one of you. I know I sat in one of the best things about the murder mysteries up there is, like, when the act break happens, part of the reason I kept 2 was part of the fun is going, oh, who do you think did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was the maid. No, definitely the butler did what. And you get to hear these discussions amongst your family, your friends you've come with, or a stranger. We're going to do a fun thing, I think, where we're going to have some jars out there with each of the characters' faces on them, and in between each act you'll get a marble, and you can say, I think it's this person.
Yes!
And we'll just for our fun, we'll just kind of keep a tally and see where the audience is living there, because we want to engage the audience. We have a lot of TV and Netflix and things on our phone, And that doesn't ask a lot of us, but theater doesn't happen until you come. And that's the thing. You're going to be the audience when you come. When you show up, you're the last character I need, and now we're going to have a play.
I would so love to see the results, because they could change it night to night depending on the
I'm really excited.
demographic and how it's played up.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And, it's part
That's
of
so
the
cool.
fun of the actor's job, if you're not the murderer, to really, how do I make the audience kind of feel like I could have done it? Where am I giving them the wink that I'm a murderer? And so it's a fun, you get to act, you get to have great jokes, but you also get to play that, did I do it, did I not do it game with the audience. And it's a joy, I think, for them and for the actors.
Yeah. I love, as an actor, I love being on stage and hearing things from the audience like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just those little tiny,
it gives us the fuel. You guys are really our partner.
Well,
there.
you've got them. Then you've done your job, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think that'll be what we're going to have our first dress rehearsal tonight, where we'll have some invited audience. So that'll be really the first time for this community to see what we're doing before opening tomorrow night. And that's the part I'm really excited about, to see where are we getting our or our big chuckles or our ooh, what all those things, because we love it when you're vocal. We love it when you're participating with us.
And also, it can change the dynamic, because there are times when certain things hit that you didn't expect to hit.
Yeah.
And you're like, I see where that went.
Yeah. Oh, you like that? Oh, well, great. Yeah. I mean, and it's good for the actors to have that practice, because when you're rehearsing all the time, you're not getting laughs on everything and all these reactions, and you have to be able to go, oh, right, they're gonna respond here, and I have to take that breath and let them, and then keep going and not bulldoze through all those reactions. So,
what's the feedback from the actors?
It's been great. A lot of them I know a long time, and they've seemed like they've just been having the best time.
Good.
And I'm really excited about that. I really wrote all these parts. I'm an actor as well, so in some way I've acted them all in my head, and I'm excited to see that they're enjoying them as much as I enjoyed writing them for them. Yeah.
Did any of them have any trouble with any of the characters, or is it just really basically?
No, my my wife is a brilliant actress, and she's playing the detective.
That was well spoken, by the way.
She's a better wife and mother, but she is a brilliant actress, and she's playing the detective in this, and she's been terrific. And what she's found in the part isn't where I initially wrote it. She's really found the grounded Brooklyn detective. And I think when I wrote it, it was sort of, I was loosey-goosey on it. The detective is sort of the straight man in the middle of everything, or straight woman, and she stepped in and really grounded it and found a lot of things in there that I'm really excited about. I mean, there's definitely tweaks and things I've been doing all week that I'll be putting into the final version that I hope to get published. I mean, really things that I've learned from the cast and from the director and the production. Yeah, so it's been overwhelmingly humbling, but also informative for me as well.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. Real quickly again, can you give out the website address and
you can get more
dates?
information about Front Row to Murder at barnstormerstheater.org, and that's theater with an R-E, and you can find all your ticket information there, when things are happening, and learn a little bit more about the show.
Yeah, folks, I'm telling you, it's summertime. It's New England, New Hampshire in particular.
It's the perfect thing to do when coming off the lake on Dice Day. Come in, get in some air conditioning, and sit back and have a good time. We
oh man. So, is one of the most difficult things for the actors to not telegraph anything,
Sometimes early in process, a little bit of that, or we're hitting jokes real hard or things like that. But these are all, pros, and so they really find the rhythm of things. And when they're all working together, it's a show where everybody's got to be on. It's not a couple people, big leads, and everybody sort of nowhere. Everybody has a great role, and they all play really well together. So we're really excited about that and bringing it to the community.
Thank you so much for coming in today. Jordan Reeves, ladies and gentlemen, author, director, actor. In particular, this is his baby, Front Row to Murder, happening out there in Tamworth. Folks, go out. It's summertime. I'm begging you, enjoy your summer. You've been listening to NH Unscripted. Building you up, Buttercup. That makes me your Foundations Like host, Ray Dudley. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Jordan, thank you. And Dude,
Thank
break
you,
a
man.
leg. I mean that.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.